If you're planning to make a game for the phone, or you have made one, and yet you are suffering in packaging it, or in the way of setting the packaging settings, and most likely, if you tried before, then you face problems like these related to setting the SDK. Or perhaps you suffer from problems like these, or maybe even a problem like this, which is considered the most common problems. But you did not find anyone presenting a convincing solution for it, especially the last one. Or the worse, you suffer from the most annoying problem, which is this unknown error. Well, such problems are extremely common, and I have decided in this video to explain to you all the correct steps to avoid all these errors and explain to you the steps that you have to prepare to extract your game for the phone from scratch step by step, and ways to solve all possible problems, where after this video, you will be able to extract your game for the phone for any version of Unreal Engine after you learn the correct preparation method for any project that supports the phone. So it will be an easy and creative video as usual, so let us begin. Currently, I am in a game project that I made specifically for the phone. I did not make any changes or preparations yet for the project, and I will extract it with you in this video using version 5.6. The first thing we need to do will not be in the engine at all, because we first have to prepare the development environment first to suit extracting the game for the phone. And for that first, you need Visual Studio. And it is better that it is version 2022 at least, as it is considered the most stable version, and is used even in versions 5.7 with good compatibility without problems. You can simply download it from the official website and follow the instructions easily. After downloading it, you will find this interface, and we enter here. We will find several options. Most of them we will not need, and yet I advise you to download the package Desktop Development with C++ and Game Development with C++, because even though we may not need these packages now to extract the game for the phone, they will benefit you a lot in the future. What you must focus on and what we need for today is downloading the package, Mobile Development with C++. This step will save you tons of problems later when packaging your game, especially the unknown error problems. This was the first process to follow, which is considered the basic thing to do to ensure that everything works smoothly. Next, and the most important, is preparing SDK and NDK and JDK for your game. And this is the most important point in the video. If you do not prepare them, you will receive an error message like this later. And it is important to focus here, because preparing them incorrectly will cause packaging problems as well. So before we begin, let me give you a quick clarification about what SDK and NDK and JDK are in their role. To explain this to you, let us use this example. Let us say that you have a pie that you prepared skillfully, and it looks extremely delicious, but it is still not cooked yet. This represents your game, where you created and developed it well in Unreal. But to cook it, you need to take it first to a kitchen that contains an oven for cooking. And this whole kitchen that contains the oven and the coal and the cooking tools is the SDK. It gives you the building tools that you need, but it itself does not know how the cooking process happens inside the oven. It only gives you the tools, and it does not know in turn how to use them. So we need a cook who knows how to use these cooking tools. And this is the NDK, where it converts the C++ files into native files for the phone. So we have the oven, and we now know how to cook our pie in it. What remains is that someone turns on this oven, and this is the role of the JDK, where it runs the build system for the game, so it starts gathering everything together. So after we understood this, from where do we get these tools? We need a reliable source, of course, to deal with this process. Well, for that, we need a specific application, which is Android Studio. I will leave its link in the description, and just download the latest version. This will be the best. After downloading it for more action, we will go to SDK Manager, here where we will find all the files that we will download. Now I can already know what you're wondering about which version we need to download here and how we know the correct version, and other questions which I will answer. Regarding SDK platform, you need here to understand that dealing with Android versions is represented by API level, and every number that comes after it represents a specific Android version. And this is a list of all versions and what corresponds to them from their API symbol. The rest that you see here in this list, you do not really need to understand it. Regarding SDK platform here, all you need is to download the highest Android version you find. This is all, and there is no need to download lower versions like Android 14 or less, because when you download a higher version, that version will work for all the lower versions. There are only special and rare cases where your game faces problems in certain versions on the phone. Then you can download the Android version in which your game faced problems. And the other reason for saying this is because if you are planning to put your game in Play Store, then it requires your game to support at least the version before the latest Android version. This means if the latest Android version released is Android 16, like what I have here, then your game must support Android 15, otherwise it will be difficult for it to be accepted by Play Store. So how do you know the newest version? Simply, first, you must avoid any preview versions. Then, after that, in the API level field, download the highest version, for example. Currently, I have a new Android version released, and this is the newest version, API 36.1. Regarding the versions that end with the extension next, they are for those who want to access the phone API features, so you will not need them. We go to SDK tools here, where we will download the SDK and NDK that we need. Before we start here, there is something you need to know, and this is very important, which is that every engine version has a recommended compatibility to work with and download. This means that you must download the SDK version compatible with the engine version you are working on. And this is the list of recommended SDK tools for each engine version. From version 5.2 until 5.7, which is the latest version of the engine currently, I am currently working on version 5.6. So I will work with you in this video on this. Here we will first find the SDK build tools and NDK versions. According to the table, we will need SDK version 34, which Epic Games recommends from versions 5.4 and above. And as you see, I've already downloaded it. I also advise you to stay away from any version you will find ending with RC. They are preview versions released before the final version release, so always avoid downloading them, and always download the final version that does not contain RC. You may also find several versions of one version, such as 35.0 and 35.1. The difference is only updates in them with improvements and fixes for other problems. You can choose to download the improved versions of them. There's no difference here. If we scroll down now, we will find NDK. And as usual, every version has a recommended NDK. And from the list, what we will need is version R27C. What you may find difficult to deal with is the version number, for example, R27C. If we look at this version and look at the Android Studio versions, we will find a difference, and we will not know which version to download. And I will simplify it for you. The number that comes after the version number, for example, version 27.0 represents R27A, and version 27.1 represents version R27B, and so on. Every time a number increases after the version, the next letter in the alphabet comes. As I said before, I'm using version 5.6, so I downloaded R27 set, which is version 27.2. Just download the latest version of this version that you find. If we scroll further, we will find Android SDK command line tools. Here, you only need to download the latest version you find. There are no complications here. And yes, as an additional option, you can scroll further down and download Google Play service. This is all we need to download from here. When finished, press Apply from here so the download begins. After you finish downloading this part, what remains is JDK. This we need to download from another place exactly through the website Adoptium. And as usual, every version has recommended versions. The difference here is that versions of 5.2 and lower are very old, and work with modern versions only started from versions 5.3 and above. And almost all engine versions from 5.3 and above recommend JDK 17. However, you can also use JDK 21 versions and versions 5.6 and 5.7, as Epic recently started recommending it as a good and more advanced option. However, I will stay with JDK 17. You can simply, from here, choose any version you want to download and make sure it is JDK and not JRE. After downloading it, simply extract it anywhere on the computer and save the path. I recommend placing it in a folder named Java in the C drive as an additional step only. After finishing all that, we will finally return to Unreal Engine. First, we prepare the platform for which we will extract the game. So in Project Setting and in Target Hardware, it is important to change it here to mobile instead of desktop, and then in Support Platform, it is enough to put only Android. There is no need to include the other platforms. After that, we will restart the engine. After restarting the engine, you will notice some changes occurring in the game, and this is normal since some building of a game for the phone is different from the computer. And although this is not our topic today, but to fix this, I simply place a post-process volume and enable Unbound on it, and enable Bloom, and it returns as new. Now back to our topic and project setting. After we made the project for the phone, we scroll down until we reach the platform section. We will not go to this section yet. We need to go here first to Android SDK. Simply, we will place the paths of the SDK tools that we downloaded first. Regarding location of Android SDK, you can simply go to Android Studio and copy this path that is here. This is what we need. Next is location of Android NDK. Its location will be inside the NDK. Here you will find the NDK folder, and inside it you will find the NDK version that you downloaded. That is the path that we will copy. Regarding the last thing, which is location of Java, here simply just place the path where you extracted the JDK files that you downloaded previously. For me, I placed it here. We will not change anything else, and this is everything here. Now what we will go to next is the Android section. What you will most likely face is that it will be like this, where we need to accept the SDK license and also press Configure Now. But if we press Now, we will face a problem like the one in the picture, and the reason for this problem is simpler than you expect. We need to go to Epic Games. And at the version you're working on from here, press Option. We scroll down a little to Target Platform here. We will need to download Android Platform. Well, I already downloaded it, as you see, since it is considered necessary for it to work with you. Now if we press, we will not face any problems, as you see. Next, we will configure the settings here together. In Android Package, it is necessary to delete this stupid name here, which I do not even know why Epic put it, because if you leave it as it is, you will have an unknown error problem later, and this is because there must not be parentheses or other shapes in the name here. It must also be a unique name, so that Google Play accepts it, if you plan to put your game there, and an application display name here where you will put the name of your game. We scroll to install location. It is better here to put it on auto and also enable package game data. Inside APK, this option will make your game fully included inside the APK, only without the need for an OBIB file. However, you must know if the resulting APK size is larger than 100 megabytes. Google Play will not accept it, as it will require an APK and OB for the game. The other option that also matters to me is orientation here, where you determine how your game will be played. Will it be landscape only or portrait? Or maybe it can be played in all directions? This depends on your game. If we scroll more now, we will find here a warning. Just press Configure now to make your game compatible with Play Store, and if we scroll further here where you will place your game application images, there's nothing special or difficult really. What matters to me is this option Show Launch Image. I strongly advise you to turn off this option, because it may later cause you problems in the game working on some phones, even if it was extracted correctly. The rest I will leave as it is. We do not need to modify anything in it. In the end, there's a setting that I always set to reduce the game size and compress it, and this setting automatically removes any unused additions or assets from being placed in the final game during packaging, which gives you better performance for the game on phones and also reduces the game size. Search for list of map and just put all the maps that you used in the game. After all this, we have become ready to extract the game for the phone and confident that it will work. So from here, we press Refresh Platform Status, then press again. And from Android here, if you find text here like Installed SDK, press it. If you do not find it, press directly on Package Project. When extracting the game, you will find it in this form. Just choose the version that ends with the extension APK and the ARM64 version. This is what you need. Just move it to the phone and install it, and it will work with you. And as a final advice, if you extracted your game correctly before, and then when you tried to extract it again, you faced problems in that, just go to the project folder and delete the binaries folder. This will solve the problem. So yes, this was the correct method to extract your game for the phone in detail with a solution for all possible problems that you may face. Thank you for watching, and I hope I have benefited you with this. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel to support us, and thank you.